Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Always Out of Market podcast. I'm going to be one of your co hosts today, Gavin. I'm joined here today by Matthew, Stephen, Ryan, and Jason. 5 out of 6 of the crew today, but we're still looking forward to a good episode. This is the second part of a double recording that we had to do due to a vacation and a mass exodus by most of the pod. So
Yeah,
expect there to
so
be light news and more coaches talk.
And awful in picks.
yeah, I
Yeah.
expect our picks to be really bad because we don't know who's getting injured and stuff like that. And given how things have been going so far, there's going to be injuries. I mean, everybody's going to be running through like 6 different practice squads by the end of the season. So, all right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just, since we don't have news to cover, like we said, we're going to do talk about coaches. So we wanted to talk about coaches that are on the hot seat. So I asked everybody to at least have like a couple coaches in mind, and we could just kind of talk about it and see what we all think. Think if we think they're safe, if they're actually truly on the hot seat as a group, and just go from there. So, who wants to start?
Doesn't matter. I mean,
I can go.
I was
go
like,
first.
we can go left to right on my screen, which means Steven is first.
Okay, so this one, I don't know with the way they're looking right now, but he's been kind of on my radar, especially with last year. Some of the big news headlines that made him kind of look like a dipshit. And given that they're going through a big organizational change, I am putting Ron Rivera on my list as on the hot seat.
Solid. I mean, not him, but that saying that he's on the hot seat. Solid.
So I was thinking about it when you got Ron Rivera's. So obviously he was at Carolina. He made it all the way. Wow, I'm really white because I pulled up my screen. So obviously he did well to start off with the Panthers. Made all the way to the Super Bowl, but then he got fired in 19, and he's just been very mediocre at Washington the whole time he's been there. And the way I look at it is he's pretty much. I think he's on the hot seat just because they want to now rebuild pretty much everything since it's a whole new owner and everything too. So if he has another bad season, which, I mean, Sam Howell looks good now that he's actually learned that he's on his team, and, if he can keep up with when they're going to potentially be eliminated from the playoffs or not, then maybe he stays alive. But I think he's probably near the top of my list of most likely to get fired.
Okay.
It's an interesting pick. The defense really makes you view that team in a different light. And I don't know if it's scheme or if it's just the level of talent that they have in that front seven that really just makes you almost want to fear that defense whenever you pick against them in any game. I don't speak for everybody in the group here, but whenever I'm picking against the Commanders, it's kind of like you have to really think about how hard is that defense going to play against the offense? It's a very good matchup indicator for them. Rivera he just can't pull it together by the look of it. You don't know what's going on with their quarterback situation. You can't tell if they have a guy or not because he's not a strong offensive-minded guy. I mean, Sam Howell's looked all right with now I'm blanking on the OC's name, Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator, but it's not jumping off the page right now. There's a lot of good talent over there in Washington.
I do think that's interesting.
Them having a brand new ownership group.
That is interesting too. I didn't even think about that when making my pick here, but Eric Bieniemy probably does. I mean, we know why he basically took a lateral move because he was like, I need to prove that I can be a head coach somewhere. Because everyone thinks that I was just being carried by Patrick Mahomes. So, maybe there's some interest there.
With a new ownership group with Magic Johnson also at the helm there.
Yeah.
We see Eric Bieniemy making that lateral move, and it's just chess, not checkers, and he actually just gets promoted to the head coach at the end of the season. That would actually probably be a little move to keep an eye on.
I can see it happening.
So, what? You guys have anything else to add, or somebody else want to go?
I mean, Gavin pretty much nailed it especially about the defense. Denver played them last week, and their defense, that front seven, I think it's a mix of both, between the scheme and the talent. They struggled in the first quarter and made some major adjustments and really slowed Denver down. And I don't know, Ron Rivera is in a very peculiar situation with having new ownership and whatnot. I mean, they did start 2-0 this season, which is, that's great.
It does help. It
Yeah,
does help.
great and all, but eventually they're going to come back down to earth. And I think the question is, how hard are they going to crash whenever that time comes? And I think that'll be the deciding factor on whether or not he's out of a job, halfway through the season, at the end of the season, whenever it may be. So
I don't think my thing is I don't think there's a chance, especially being 2-0 already. I don't think there's a chance he gets fired in the middle of the season. I just think he might get fired as soon as the season's over and they're like, "All right, we're ready to go in a new direction more than anything."
It's hilarious to talk about a coach that's 2-0 as one that could be on a hot seat, but you look at the teams he's beat, and it's not been very convincing wins against very professional football players, but they're bad opponents. The Arizona Cardinals are completely tanking, and there was a lot of hype behind the Broncos, but they're still a bad team. The roster is still not fully set up to be a good team.
Amen.
It's not all there.
Amen, brother. Trust me, I know.
All right, somebody else go. Let's get to another coach. What do you think?
Next on my list is Matthew.
I'm just gonna throw out the one that everybody's already thinking. Brandon Staley. He should have been gone last year, the very beginning of the season. The only reason he stayed was because Justin Herbert stuck up for him.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know.
He's just a big dumb dipshit sitting over there on the West Coast, isn't he?
He is. He is.
Yeah.
He has no idea what he's doing.
And that was one of them. I actually have him. He's on one of my tabs on my other screen because I was going to bring him up.
He was one of mine too. So yeah,
it's such an obvious choice. I feel like because with the talent that he has around his team, why are they not winning almost every game? And why is that defense so bad this year? Like the offense
is just choking under the pressure. Like that's just a Chargers thing. But then with him at the helm, it's like it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just been such a bad time to be a Chargers fan. I mean, this is why I don't like their fan base, what little of it is there in the world. They always hype up the entire roster, every player on their team, every roster position has a group that is supposed to be top 5 in their fans' eyes. But then whenever it comes down to games, they just don't win. There's not a single true hole in the entire team whenever you look at it from a roster perspective just on paper. They just can't ever seem to win. It has to come on the head coach.
It's got to be. And when you're saying they just can't ever win, it's really they can't ever finish because a lot of the times, like we talked about, they're the first team in NFL history with 50 points in the first 2 games and start 0-2. That shouldn't ever happen. If you're scoring like that, there's a problem somewhere else, whether it's the play calling or because you can't put it all on the players. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. They just can't finish.
Yeah, you really need to evaluate your defense at that point because it's like to be 0-2 with that many points scored, it's like something's going wrong on the other side of the ball because then you just got to rely completely on your offense to carry you there. And most NFL games are not going to be scoring that crazily high at that point because most of the defenses in the NFL can hold people to maybe 2 or 3 touchdowns at most. So.
Yeah.
Especially when you pay that much money for all the players on said defense.
Yes.
I mean, look at every level from the front 7 all the way to the back end. There's a top 5 paid player in every level of that defense. What the hell is going on?
Yeah, that's a good pick for Brandon Staley. I'm 100% on board on that.
Yep.
I have a feeling he was on every one of our list.
Yeah.
I was
not
willing
Ryan.
to bet that.
So I didn't know his name. I don't know shit about coaches. To be honest, this segment isn't great. I'm not gonna be able to contribute that much because I don't know shit about coaches. So.
You still got somebody though, right?
Well,
Oh yeah, I got one that's gonna piss people off.
You're next on the list, so
Let's hear it.
I think
I'm
I
excited.
say what's gonna piss people off. My coach in the hot seat is fucking Sean Payton. Came into the fucking Denver, supposed to be the godsend for Denver and make them better, and they're still Denver. Like they're doing the exact same shit as they do every fucking year, and so it's like I know it's his first 2 games, and like I said, it's probably not a good take, but I'm just saying I heard all this high shit about Sean Payton, and every week the announcers are like, oh, they better win or he's gonna be really mad. Oh, there's no way he goes 0-2, and he's gone 0-2, and it's like he's not been living up to the hype.
Yeah, but you can see improvements on the team. There's a
Oh yeah, the
difference.
team's better for sure.
And
You're supposed to. They're fucking pros.
well, yes.
all
But, I
I'm
mean,
saying is there's no way he's on the hot seat because they gave up a draft pick for him and they paid him all that money. There's no way he's on the hot seat.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying they're
Say
gonna
the same
fire
thing
him.
about Nathaniel Hackett. They didn't trade for him, but
Yeah.
they still paid him a lot of money. But
Yeah,
I'm
There's
We're
zero
actually,
chance he gets fired.
We're also under new ownership now, though.
that's
There's
true.
also there's another big difference between Sean Payton and Nathaniel Hackett.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
But once again,
one is
the
you
whole
have to
point-
give
Let me just say this: the whole thing with y'all saying with the Chargers, how there's something wrong because they went 50-0 and lost 2. Like Jason said in the previous podcast, the Broncos have gone 49 points and
Yeah.
they haven't won a fucking game yet.
Yeah.
It's like they're 1 point behind the Chargers with that same thing, and they haven't won a game.
Yeah, but I can point to the problem on the Broncos, and that's Vance Joseph. That is the problem. Him being our defensive coordinator. That is the problem.
It
I
is an
respect the
interesting.
take. It was just a full shot fired at the entire Broncos fan base. I fucking love the take.
I don't disagree because I mean it's one of those things that yes, there's a lot of hype around Sean Payton, and then especially the thing that we haven't even brought up is the fact he basically just shit on the coaching for the Broncos last year, and he's basically looking about the same, score wise, and
I say
obviously starting off 0-2 the same way. So
the team itself is definitely better, but all that matters is win-loss. That's all that matters in the end of the day.
You're not wrong,
That is-
but he's definitely not on the hot seat.
well,
I'm
this
saying
this,
not, but
this
he
is
makes good
something.
points.
This is something to reconsider, like at mid-season, though, because I mean, if they're still like on a huge losing streak,
I'm about to say, yeah,
maybe
game
there's
2, not in the hot seat because he's just a new coach. But like, if he
Yeah.
continues this the way he's going, I think he will be on the hot seat later.
We
in the
also have
season.
to look at our schedule. Our schedule is one of the hardest in the NFL this year.
But you just lost to the Commanders though, which aren't like an amazing team.
Commanders are undefeated.
Okay, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, but
their
we
coach
we
is
literally
on the
just
hot
came
seat
from
as
talking
well,
about how the
motherfucker.
Commanders coach is on the hot seat.
I
And they
know.
beat the
but
I'm
we
Broncos.
saying
We're not
look
saying
at
the
our
Commanders are bad.
we're look at the schedule ahead for the Broncos is all I'm saying. There's no way that we're winning more than about 9 games this year. No matter who our coach was going to be. Just because like Gavin said, our team is not complete in the slightest. So there's a lot of holes to fill. All that the Broncos are looking for this year is a winning record.
I will
I
say,
think
I don't think it'll happen either, but I do, I can see the point you're trying to make.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying Nathaniel Hackett or not Nathaniel Hackett, whatever his fucking name is. Sean Payton for sure getting fired. I'm just saying I don't know shit about coaches, and he's the one I've been hearing about the most, and hasn't actually produced the fucking wins at all.
I just think you have to give him I mean, it's Sean Payton. You have to give him at least a
Oh,
year, and he's got to get
absolutely.
draftees, and you got to let him build up his team. He hasn't built any of this team at all. You have to give him at least a year to draft, and then if he starts next season 0-2, 0-3, whatever, then I say that there's a discussion for yes, put him on the hot seat. But right now, I think it's way too early to put him there.
I like what he's saying though, but there is zero chance just because they traded the first round pick to get him. There is literally not a shot. He could go 0-17. I don't think they fire him.
Oh yeah, no, I don't. Like I said, my definition of hot seat isn't exactly like this person's for sure getting fired. This is just like there's a fire under him right now. He's got to fucking have results in the next year.
Does he have fire under his gut? Does he have fire in his gut?
Firing
Oh,
yeah.
shut up, Gavin. God. Yeah, speaking of hot seat takes, obviously I don't have them on here because they already look better than I thought they would. But remember, in my bold prediction, I said that Jonathan Gannon was going to be a one and done at the Cardinals. But yeah, that's not looking like a good take anymore. So, which
One
I
of you
mean,
guys took the bus.
it was super bold anyway. So.
No,
Took the bus here.
the next person on my list would be Gavin.
All right. So jokingly, I was going to bring up Jonathan Gannon just so I could talk about that fucking meeting that we all saw the clip of.
He's so cringy. And the fact that the Cardinals literally posted that is just, oh my god.
Was it cringier than the Danger Russ sandwich?
Yes.
Really?
Because Danger Russ is trying to be a joke. He's trying to mess around. Like, it's trying to be funny. You know, he was dead serious.
Ryan, we'll
Maybe
show
you have fire in your
I
gut.
haven't seen the video.
We'll show you the video after this, but like he basically, this is like at the very beginning when they're doing training camp, and we already know about when he had that conversation and he was going like pew pew pew. That was cringe number 1. Cringe number 2 was this one. He sits down with his team. They're all like getting ready for training camp, and he's having a meeting. He's like, "All right, who took the bus here? Who drove?" It's like, really, like, why are you treating it like it's a fucking elementary school class or something? It was just really weird. And then he just gets into, you got fire in your gut? Because I need silent killers or something like that. He said a bunch of really cringy shit. And literally,
honestly, I'm motivated right now. I gotta say, I'm motivated.
And here's the fucked up part. That tone that Steven just said it in is the exact same tone.
Yes. It's
motivational, like, prowess to it.
And it's funny because you read the comments and it's like everybody's talking about all the players literally sitting there just looking at him like, what the fuck are we in for this season? And then a lot of the comments are Eagles fans. And they're like, hey, thanks for taking him away for us because we didn't want him anymore. Okay, but who's your actual pick, Gavin?
I have 2 on the mind. The first one is the one I could definitely see it the most, and it's another fan base that I just felt like really overhyped their team way too much. I talked about this last night with Jason and Matthew. I mean, Matt Eberflus of the Chicago Bears.
Yep, he's on my list too.
He is in a world of a bad situation. Because what happened last year is they were the worst team in the league and managed to get the number 1 overall pick. But their team was smart and traded back to the 9th pick. Traded out of that 1 spot so nobody talked about them being the worst team in the league. Their entire fan base just had the freaking Men in Black flash happen to them, and they completely forgot that their roster was utter garbage. They all of a sudden had it in their head that Justin Fields was going to be the MVP, the Bears are going to win the North, and they're going to the Super Bowl. But yet somehow, throughout all of this offseason, throughout all of this building, throughout all of this hype, Matt Eberflus has managed to keep this team at mid-level garbage at best. Not a single shred of improvement across the entire board. He is definitely feeling that seat getting hotter.
I'm glad that both of the coaches that I had pulled up for myself have already been taken before it got to me.
I mean, there's still more to consider, but...
Well, yeah, there's definitely more to consider. In fact, I have one more that I want to bring up, but let's just stick on Eberflus, and I'm actually going to let somebody else possibly bring him up later, because I have a feeling that if Jason looks up a list of coaches, he'll probably find them.
I mean, I have what was going to be honorable mention that I'll throw out, because it's another one that I feel is legitimate.
It's great that
let's not skip past Eberflus.
Yeah, so Gavin, I was going to say, it's great you bring this up, because literally, it's like you were here for the podcast this morning, because we were talking about, like, how, like, all of a sudden everyone was looking at Justin Fields a completely different way, and then he's just proven, even with DJ Moore, he's still just running the ball at most situations and stuff. So, like,
it sucks.
Yeah, and he's just...
Also,
he's
Gavin,
good.
Tyler picked the Bears to beat the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah.
Tyler did what?
Tyler picked the Bears to beat the Chiefs.
When this episode comes out, this is going to be even funnier to me.
Yeah.
Because then the Chiefs will somehow have managed to beat them by, I'm going to say, I'm going to actually guess that score. We're going to beat them by 16.
By 16.
They're going to beat them by 16. They're going to beat the 14.5 point spread.
If you saw my thumbnail, Tyler is Justin Fields. So
The video's not up yet, so
No.
yeah. Oh, that's right. You put it in Discord, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that got a big discussion because we're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And we still want to ask him about it because
I
it's
don't
like
want to ask him. I don't care. He's just dumb. But he wants to be different so bad.
let's get back to the fucking point that somebody made about the fact that Justin Fields can do his run. Here's where Eberflus is just an awful head coach. You have a quarterback. The one thing that separates him is his ability to be faster than most guys on the field.
Mhm.
Why do you refuse to fucking run him? Why would you not utilize him in the main fashion he is able to succeed?
They want him
They're sitting.
to be Tom Brady so bad and sit in the pocket and throw a pass, and he can't read the field.
No.
Not him. That is not him.
He can't.
He is a mobile quarterback that is going to light it up with his legs and make defenses have to play up on him so he can throw it deep.
Which he can't do.
Oh, it is insanely just. His seat is so hot, like I could light a candle. You sat next to him on the bus that you're riding over to Jonathan Gannon's practice on. You could probably lean a candle over and light it underneath his seat because it's just fucking heating up that bad.
I mean, the guy has a record of 3-16 as a head coach.
It's good. I don't know how he has a
I'm amazed
job.
I'm amazed it took 4 people to bring up coaches on the hot seat that it got to him.
Well,
if it had gotten to me, I was going to bring him up too.
I feel like Bears coaches stay on the hot seat because they just don't win games, so the coach can't be on the cool seat, I
also just don't give a shit about the Bears most of the time, so
yeah.
Nobody does, but it's still early enough in the season that hype is still relevant. Whenever it gets to the point where they're sitting at 3 and it's going into that last game of the season, nobody's gonna care.
I think the hype died the second DJ Moore was open by a mile and Fields still ran the ball, and you could literally see DJ Moore sitting down on the bench like, why can't I go to a good fucking team? Like,
why can't I get one fucking quarterback, please?
It's funny because one of my company's new clients is from Chicago area, and we've mentioned the Bears a couple times in meetings. They're just so sad.
I believe it. I'd be sad too.
Every Bears fan you see is just they're on the watch. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're listening to some songs by Logic. Just one song in particular is on repeat.
God.
All right, Jason, you want to bring up yours? I have a feeling it's probably my other one. There's no way we go a whole round without him being brought up.
He was my honorable mention, but now he is my first coach that we'll go over. Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah.
That's
not who I was thinking.
Bill Belichick he's probably not on the hot seat, but he should be with the way the Patriots have been the last few years. And I mean, they started off 0-2 this year, probably going to go up to about 0-5 before they win a game. They just don't look good. Ever since Tom Brady left, they do not look good at all.
The past few years has really proved that it was Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the Patriots. It wasn't Bill Belichick. It was like the fact that Tom Brady was there and they won, then he left. They lose, and the Buccaneers won the fucking Super Bowl. I don't know how much Belichick actually even had to do with fucking them winning all those years.
Yeah,
the method of coaching.
Since it happened though, and he did win all those years, he will never be fired. They will keep him on there until he just decides to leave.
I could see him losing one of his 2 positions that he's at right now.
See, that's what I was gonna say. The GM position, he needs to not be the GM. Just let him coach,
or just not be the head coach.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just think
one or the other.
He's made some bizarre roster moves. Like, I still think it was weird how he cut Bailey Zappi initially and Malik Cunningham. brought back Bailey Zappi, and then also brought in, I can't remember his name, that was on
Matt
the
Corral.
Panthers, Matt Corral, and then you know, and then that whole thing that happened at the end of last season with all that drama with him and Mac Jones. You know, with Mac just being like, I got to get some help because we suck, which I totally understand that. But of course, it pissed off Bill Belichick, and then it was a big mess. But Mac Jones is still their guy, so clearly whatever happened worked out in the end, I guess. But they still aren't great.
Mac Jones is tired of Bill Belichick drafting like white receivers in the 7th round and expecting them to be studs.
Jones is tired of them overdrafting literally everybody. Now, do they turn out to be good players eventually? Yes. Cole Strange.
No.
Cole Strange is the one that comes to mind for me. Whenever the Rams didn't have a pick until the 5th round, they were scouting this guard from UT Chat that then got drafted by the Patriots in the 1st fucking round. Is when you really needed to start wondering whether or not the dog from the 2020 draft is making the decisions on the keyboard for Bill Belichick. It truly just throws you off so freaking bad whenever you just have no idea what he's actually doing. Now, some of the guys, they end up being all right. They would be good role players, and if he had drafted them in the rounds that they were projected, be thought of as a genius. He keeps overdrafting these guys. I don't know what he's doing half the time. He definitely just needs to lose that position.
Bill Belichick is like Ryan whenever he took Patrick Mahomes as early as he did.
Oh yeah, my team really suffered because of that.
Yeah, I think you're still
Well,
fine.
let's say like we're throwing stones at a guy, but I mean his team is still kind of dogging everybody.
I mean, you beat me.
Except for mine, maybe.
Last week?
Yeah.
Except for mine, maybe. Ugh. Roster.
All right. So who's next, Jason?
It goes back over to you, Steven.
Okay, I'm surprised he didn't get brought up, but I guess to be fair, it was a bad last season, but we'll see what he looks like this season. Josh McDaniels was on my list as a potential one, because especially with the absolute downfall with Derek Carr at the Raiders and stuff, like I don't really know. They were 6-11 last year, so not really that great, and I don't feel like they did all that much to improve. I still don't really think handsome QB that I'm totally blanking on his name.
Garoppolo,
Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think he was that much of an improvement to bring in. Obviously, I know he's not the general manager. I don't think he's not doing both roles, but still, with the talent, with what he's got, I still am not convinced. If he has another bad season like that, I think he could be out.
This is the other guy that I had on my list as well. I said I was gonna go through both of them, but then I was like, let me leave it for Jason because I thought I was laying it up to Jason over
that's what I thought. I thought Josh McDaniels was going to be his pick. Which I mean, Bill Belichick's a good one too, mostly because of one of those two positions. He shouldn't be doing both, but
yeah. But Josh McDaniels is a weird one because he's awful. He's awful. He wasn't good whenever he was the head coach of any other team that he was the head coach for. But then there's this question that we went over last season. Can the Raiders afford to fire him?
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. They couldn't fire him.
They couldn't fire him last year because they were that cash poor, which, I mean, we say that cash poor. It's like, oh, they can't afford a $45 million coach buyout. But literally, they are stuck with him right now. I think they said for the next 2 seasons last year. So they have another season of garbage after this. And now, like, you have to think of it from their perspective. Now their highest paid player on defense, Chandler Jones, isn't even fucking playing at the moment because of the coaching decisions. Now it's costing them money on the player side based on the fact that they have Josh McDaniels just... You don't even hear him in the media. Like, you don't hear him talking about his team. The team is in Las Vegas, which should be one of the biggest freaking markets. We just don't hear anything about them. You would forget that they're a team if we didn't have to do picks every week.
I mean, I don't have much to say about Josh McDaniels other than he's bad. If they had the money to fire him, he would have been fired last year.
Exactly. I mean, it was a good pick. That's a good pick for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a good pick that we don't even have to say anything about it because everybody
Yeah.
just knows.
The only thing we would have to talk about is the fact that are the Raiders saving up money in a piggy bank to be able to fire their head coach?
Oh,
No,
wow.
because they just fucking signed Garoppolo.
True.
We also got to remember
They
they lost.
money left.
They lost a good bit of their money situation on Derek Carr too, right? Because he had that no trade clause, so they just had to cut him. So I think they had but I guess that's more salary cap than just regular, just actual money. But because salary cap doesn't make any fucking sense for money, but
Not real. It's not real.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's exactly real. So, all right,
The Niners have the fucking top highest paid players at like all of their positions, but yet somehow
I
they
know.
have the most cap space available.
In a couple of years, they're gonna be fucked with their salary cap.
You keep saying that, but then you just keep kicking that can down the road, and eventually, I guess somebody says you're supposed to find it, but none of the teams have fucking found it yet.
guaranteed money, void years, all that kind of shit makes it where you can just manipulate the fuck out of salary cap. So
Yeah.
I still think there's a chance that if he has another really bad season, maybe they'll find a way to actually fire Josh McDaniels this year. I still think there's a chance because I can't imagine them just being able to just keep dealing with just mediocre coaching for multiple years and not try to make some sort of change.
Done it this far. Last time they had any
That's
successful coaching, he turned out to be a sexist and a racist. So
Yeah, and
Can't really-
that put him in a bad situation too. So,
mhm.
all right.
Damn
Does anybody
email.
else have anybody they're gonna bring up?
I have one more. Frank Reich.
Yes, good.
He
pick.
shouldn't have got he shouldn't have got the job at all to begin with. He was not a good coach at the Colts after Peyton Manning was gone. He sucked. So he shouldn't have been fired. And then now they're 0-2, and they are not looking up. So I think he'll be gone by week 8.
Damn.
You think
That's
he's
bold.
a first season, middle of the season fire?
What is he contributing?
Be fair, he was a mid-season fire last year too. So,
Yeah.
Shit. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Now, every time
I don't-
go ahead.
I need to
Sorry.
look at. Well, no, so I'm gonna go look at their schedule and see when their first possible win might actually be, if they have one this season.
Especially with how much the NFC South looks like it's improved this year.
It has.
But they are the outlier there, just not looking good out of the gate. Like the Buccaneers look way better than any of us could have expected. The Saints are solid, and then of course I'm totally blanking. Falcons with their run game, and Arthur Smith's, in my opinion, a really great coach. So yeah, they're not looking great. And I remember now that you mentioned that, Gavin, every time Frank Reich, I've like watched a little bit of the Panthers play, and they have him like on the sidelines talking to Bryce Young. I think about what you said when we found out he got fired on the podcast, and you went on a rant about you're sick and tired of these horrible coaches just getting rehired somewhere else.
I'm fucking tired of it, dude.
Yeah, I'll never forget that because I just
They're
remember
gonna go
going
on
on a rant.
They're going to go on a 3-game win streak, and he's going to keep his job because week 7 they have the Texans. Week 8 he's got his revenge game against the Colts. Week 9 they have Eberflus and the fucking Bears. They're going to go on a 3-game win streak, and he's going to keep his job because they're going to be like, well, look, at this 3-game stretch, they played pretty well.
And then they're gonna get beat by the Cowboys, Titans, Bucks, Saints, Falcons, Packers, Jags, Bucks.
Hold on. No, they're gonna lose. They're gonna beat the Packers definitely.
Ooh, the hate.
Probably gonna win week 5 though.
I don't think they
week
are.
6.
Nah, you're looking at the best team in the league whenever they play them in week 6. No, I'm sorry about it. That's the best team in the AFC.
I can't wait for the Broncos to beat them tomorrow. I'm gonna
Me
laugh
either.
my ass off.
God.
I'm setting it up. I can't wait to be on the coldest takes. Highlights.
I'm gonna call you as soon as the game is over too.
Don't answer your
You're
phone,
gonna go-
Gavin.
I'm gonna
If that
answer.
happens.
I'm gonna be out and about, just not even thinking about life. Just so happy with my day. Oh, look at this call. Oh, my good friend Matthew. I wonder what he's calling about.
Stupid ass. The Dolphins lost. I'm gonna hang up.
Eat shit.
Uh,
I have one
Then
more
Alexa's
coach.
gonna play Marvin's Room by Drake.
I have one more coach I want to bring up.
let's hear it.
It might be a little out there. We'll see. Kevin Stefanski,
Who's he the coach for?
the Browns.
Thank God he asked it because I didn't want to be the guy that that forgot
Now,
where fucking Kevin Stefanski
I'm
was
just,
at.
I don't know about that. The Browns,
I mean, they're not even a bad team.
yeah, they're not a bad team. I don't think. They definitely they fell apart against the Steelers, which of course worked out for Ryan over there. But I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one. But so what's your thoughts on that, Jason?
I know he didn't have the full say in the Deshaun Watson trade, but
yeah.
that shit is not working out in the slightest. And if it was his idea by chance, and you see where that's gotten you so far, that on top of they seem to continue to find ways to lose games, like the Browns that we usually know.
Yeah.
If that keeps happening, I'm telling him, see you later, find somewhere else to go coach.
Who do you look to bring in to be able to help that roster right now? What kind of coach do you think improves the roster that the Browns currently have? It's a great defensive team.
Gavin, I'm not an NFL owner or GM, so
Obviously, but I'm just asking. I mean, you're the one that brought up that he might be on the hot seat, and I'm sitting here trying to think now as well. While I'm asking the question, I'm also trying to find the answer in my head. What kind of coach? I'm not asking who. I'm asking what kind of coach do you think is best to bring in? In a defensive. That's a good point. You know what?
A coach that has proven that he can finish out games. Not a coach that is notorious for blowing leads or falling apart in the second half of games.
Dan Quinn's out.
That's the problem the Browns have. They fall apart in the second half of games, and it either comes down to be a very close games that the Browns barely pull out when they should have won by 20, or they lose when they were winning by 20.
Imagine Brandon Staley gets fired and then he ends up being the Browns
I was just about to fucking say it. I know what's going to happen too. I was going to lead into another one of those fucking rants if that happens, bro. I know what's going to happen.
That would be so funny.
I know that they're not doing great right now, but if he was to get fired because they're not doing good, Miko Ryans would be a great coach for the Browns.
Yeah, but he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't know. I mean, they're 0-2 also.
He wanted to go to the
decent,
Texans, though. He wanted to go to the Texans.
I guess
Texans are not going to find another coach that wants to go there for a very long time. They're going to give him a couple years to try and let him succeed.
Yeah.
I was just saying that he would be a guy
Oh, yeah.
that would be a good coach for the Browns.
He would make...
Talking about the defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah. He would make that defense terrifying. Absolutely.
And more scary than it already is.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just scared who we get once Pete Carroll retires in the next couple of years.
Nathaniel Hackett.
Fuck that so much.
Todd Downing. He'll become a head coach.
I don't know.
You don't want
Downing?
that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Want that. Seattle sleepless in Seattle, dude. I mean, like Todd Downing would fit right in. Driving around that big ass spire in the middle of the town.
How about we go for a drive?
Called the Space Needle.
All right. Well, y'all got any other coaches, or are we ready to move on to picks?
No, everybody covered all the coaches I had in mind.
In the league.
Yeah.
So if you're watching or listening to this podcast, let us know in the comments if you think we had some bad takes, good takes. What other coaches you can think of that should probably be on the hot seat? Let us know.
Well, let us know if you got fire in your gut. You know,
yeah.
If you took the bus here,
Yes.
let us know down below.
Don't let us forget, Ryan, to send you that video.
All right, we'll do. Before we go to picks with Steven, should we just at least touch on the fantasy matchups in the next week?
Yeah, we can do that. So, Let me pull it up here. 1 second. Oh, I gotta
Matty,
close a couple tabs.
Mute yourself real quick,
I'm
Matty.
tired of being in leagues where I got the most points scored for my team, but everybody's players just show the fuck up against my team. The most points allowed currently. There's nothing I can do about it.
I'm really
You're
happy
you're still winning.
I'm really happy that Kittle managed to actually keep up with Christian McCaffrey so far this week. I mean, obviously you still got more points, but you know.
Well,
I'm
there's my
talking
team.
about Kittle hasn't done shit, and he managed to get 16 this week.
Yeah. He's
What
he's
the
about he's
hell?
about to blow up. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. All
Well,
right,
this is
so
cool. It like tells you who has the advantage based on what they think.
yeah. So is this the right
That's you
week?
and
Yeah,
me.
that looks right. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is what we got right here. So obviously we're recording early, so this is for next week. So there's no projection shown. We don't know who's injured and stuff like that. But right now, who we got up in week 4 is we've got me and Ryan facing off, and obviously right now he's very much favored because he's got a much better roster than I do, especially because right now I've still got Eckler on my bench, so I don't have
The fact Puka Nakua is fucking projected. Oh, that's his average. Okay, I see its average right there is 26. I thought it was projected 26, and I was like, "Holy fuck!"
Now he's
They
like
are putting-
he's like projected to get 16 or something points, but
Oh,
as
yeah.
I brought up earlier, I'm annoyed that I got him off waivers and then it was suddenly he was questionable, which is like exactly what all my players want to do is get hurt this season. So, but yeah, that's that one. Do we want to talk anything else about this? I mean, we just don't know what they're gonna be like. So
Yeah, I
can
don't
just
think we
look at
need
those
to.
matchups right now and just
there's
say
no
that
no
Yeah.
bye weeks this early. Oh, is there any week 4 bye weeks? It's not this year, are
it's
there?
week
Not-
5,
Yeah.
I think, is the first.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
And then
what I'm pointing out is that Ryan over there just has some fucking insane matchups, like Bijan going against Jacksonville, ETN going against Atlanta. There's a big chance for them to possibly just duke it out. Jay Jettis is going against Carolina. I think JC Horn's been out this season, so that's gonna fuck you. Monra is gonna get shut down. I mean, there's a lot of good matchups for Ryan right there. It's gonna be a tough week. That's all I'm saying, Cuzzo.
I just hope that I'm not gonna end up being 0-4 because I just at that point I'm definitely gonna get last place.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
it.
getting out of the hole.
Yeah, it's gonna be some tough matchups, but thankfully I am up against Steven this week. And
Alright.
so, I mean, I'm knock on wood. I don't want to fucking get too cocky. I'm not, because also I'm 1-1. I'm not even fucking.
My roster isn't that bad. Like I've been toe to toe with people both times, so you know. All right, let's move on to the next person. We've got Jason facing off against Tyler. So right now Tyler is favored. Tyler picked up Kirk Cousins, by the way. So
That son of a bitch. That's who I
Plug it.
wanted.
And just to clarify, these favored points are just the averages of what these players have done so far, totaled up. It's not the projected. There's no projected points yet.
Yeah.
yeah, and then so I'm just talking about the line because
Yeah.
they got -15 for
Right.
Tyler.
Well, it's because I'm saying it's based off of their averages.
Right. So that's that one. And then the last one we've got is this one will be an interesting one. Matthew versus Gavin.
The fucking
Coming for them
powerhouses
cheeks.
of the league. And I'm -10.5. Let's go. But I can go ahead and calmly and effectively say all of those players that are on Matthew's list right there. If you're listening from a state you can bet in, I would bet anytime touchdown score for all of them to go because he is going to have his best week in fantasy against me.
Can't wait to.
And now looking at the roster, yes, this is a pretty solid roster that I've managed to put together here, but this is also before any possible trades have gone through, as there are some that I'm contemplating to possibly putting in the works here.
Help me.
Also, I once again, not to. I will say the comment of the powerhouse in the league. Yes, Matthew's 2-0, but currently I have 70 more points overall than he does. So just
That's also
saying.
got to do with matchups, like who the players are playing up.
You and me,
against.
Gavin, are 6 points away from each other. Points for we are ahead of of Matthews, the next person by 70. So
Yeah, but the top of that board is all that we really need to look at, and that all that matters.
Yeah, but I like who's on top? Who's 2-0? I mean,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. No, Matthew, you are 2-0. You're winning the league right now. Yes.
But
You also-
but if you look at points allowed, I only allowed 5 less points
Yeah.
than I've scored, and I've scored
but-
the most in the league.
that's funny as
Yep.
fuck.
I
don't
fucking
get
Matthew points
standings.
allowed has the least points allowed by fucking 44 points out of anybody.
So
Insane.
there's our standings right there, right now.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This
Good.
Yeah, Matthew
this
only
happens
has
to me
Matthew has
every
the fucking 4th most points for, but he's 2-0 right now.
I know I was being cocky a second ago saying, "Oh, but who's 2-0?" Every year it seems this happens, and when people play my team, their players do really bad for some reason. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but it's happened the last 3 years.
He's got a
Well, so you see,
curse. He's
always-
got a curse.
I'm always one of the least amount of points scored. I don't get it.
Steven's leading in the moves made.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How
I
about
like
that?
my one move made.
7.
Yeah. Yep.
Steven, you're
big money
0-1.
moves.
You're 0-1 away.
Okay.
The home field advantage for you.
Oh, sweet.
Man.
All right. Well, that's it for that bit. So y'all ready to y'all ready to talk about the picks?
Yes.
Let's go through the picks.
All
We
right.
have you guys already did the standings for the.
Yeah, you're in the lead,
Yeah.
Gavin.
Yeah, I don't have it on here because, of course, since we're doing a double recording today, we obviously don't know what the standings are going to be like for
And,
week 3.
Last week, for week 2, you and me tied for we got the highest percentage last week.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's get into it. So, for week 4, we've got the Falcons at the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, it was a
So who-
4-2
who are
split.
we-
Huh?
Who are we currently fading? Like, who's in last place for the picks?
Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler
I had a
and
feeling
then,
it was.
yeah.
I mean, and the fact that they picked the Bears over the fucking Chiefs, he's probably going to keep that seat warm for a while.
Tyler's tanking.
He was
Doesn't
leading
help
our
him-
league
it
last
doesn't
year at
help
the
him,
beginning.
though.
Yeah, he doesn't get first pick overall.
Yeah. But yeah, so Matthew and Tyler went with Falcons, and then everyone else went with the Jaguars. So, this is actually, I think this might be a really good game. I
Yeah.
think this would be a really good one.
Ironically, going to be a very competitive matchup compared to what we thought in the beginning of the season before it all started. That this was just going to be a blowout by the Jaguars. It's probably going to be very competitive. A very fun game to watch, especially at the noon slot.
It's not
This
at
is-
noon.
No,
it's
this
at
is-
8:30
this
a.m.
is- This is
Oh,
going
is
to be
this
even
in
more fun to
London?
watch because this is the Toy Story game.
Yes!
Oh, is it a Toy Story game? Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I didn't think
The
about
Toy Story
that. Now I wish I had like put something on there for the graphic for the.
You
Toy
should have put
Story.
cowboy hats over one team and the Buzz Lightyear helmet over the other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do
would've
that
been
real
a good
quick,
idea. No, it's not happening now.
Hey, Jamie, bring that up.
All right. Y'all got anything else to add on this? Ready to move on?
Not really, because we don't fucking know what has happened in week 3
Yeah.
at this point.
I feel like
So
this is gonna be more of just like, ew, why did you pick that team?
Yeah. All right.
I
well,
just
we
want to
got-
add on
okay,
to it. If you're listening, watch this on the Toy Story stream because I want that to become more of a freaking thing. That sounds so awesome.
I hope it works out really well.
I think I'm gonna watch the Super Bowl on Nickelodeon this year. Like
Honestly, I mean, I might.
You
If
wanna,
we do Super Bowl party, we'll have 2 screens. We'll have the Nickelodeon stream up, and we'll have the
Yes.
I
official.
still can't get over the fact that Patrick Starr like shit on Russell Wilson last year. It was like the weirdest thing. All right, let's move on to the next slide. We got our first outlier. So everybody went with the Rams except for Matthew, who went for the Colts. So, what's the reasoning there?
I don't even remember making this pick. I'm gonna be honest.
You can change it right now. After this episode, it locks in, but you can change it now if you want to.
I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah, I think at this
because-
point we just don't know, so it's like you
Yeah.
might as well
Yeah.
stick with it.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Anthony Richardson will have a game if he plays.
Will he be back by that? Yeah, will he be back in a week?
Don't know, Ryan.
Yeah.
You got to stick with your gut, and there's
Yes.
fire in there. Fire in your
I'll-
gut.
I thought
so.
I'll be
Fire
50%
to your
again.
gut, baby.
All right, And let's move on to the next one. We've got the Ravens at the Browns. A surprising 3-3 split on this one.
Is this the first 3-3 split? Or did we end up with some last week?
We did
I
last
think we
week.
did,
About
yeah.
you.
That was some last week.
All right.
Yeah. But so Ryan, Jason, and I went for the Ravens, and then Tyler, Gavin, and Matthew went for the Browns. I don't know if the Ravens keep this trajectory of just every game having more and more players get hurt. I don't know if I want to keep this, but I'm locking it in now. So
Yeah.
But this
I don't like the smile that Tyler has sitting over there in my 3-3 stack with Matthew. Makes me really nervous for this pick.
I mean, look,
Changing it, but I'm just pointing out my nervousness.
when me and Tyler picked together at the first week, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. We were the only ones to get it right." Now it seems like every time I'm with Tyler, I get it wrong. So
What did I just say earlier about when we talk about coaches? The Browns can't finish out games. I think Lamar will get it done against the Browns.
Okay.
I think I flip-flopped on this one for a while. It's going to be a good game. I mainly picked this based off the D-line versus O-line matchup for the Browns.
Is it
We'll
just
see
me,
how
or
it goes.
have there been so many division games early on in the season? Like, it feels like there's more than there usually is, like right out of the gate. Because the Ravens have already played. They've already played the Bengals, right?
And the Colts. No,
I'm
they didn't play
talking
the Colts.
about-
They played the Texans. They played the Texans.
Well, I'm talking about division rivals,
Divisional.
though.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the Colts are not in their division. I don't.
Yeah,
Ravens
and,
are not
and
in
the,
the South.
and then the Browns played the Steelers, so we've already got some of those. And then I know like half of the games in week 1 were against different conference, and then the other half were all division games. So
We played a division game.
yeah, it just seems like they're doing a lot of that right out the gate
you know,
this year.
if you look at the schedule, that's probably how they do most of it. It's probably half and half, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've never really looked at it, but I bet that's what they do.
And this may be one of those
Probably.
things that we are way more invested than we ever have been with the podcast. So we're noticing things that we just never noticed before. But all right, let's move on to the next one. We got the Vikings at the Panthers.
Matthew got it wrong. Matthew got it wrong.
So this feels like to me this is just a fuck the Vikings kind of pick. For
Well,
Well,
Matthew.
I feel like, I mean, obviously, he's speaking to himself. This is a Matthew fuck the Vikings and a Tyler just being Tyler this year. So it's like we got the two outliers.
This is also the Vikings are not good.
Yeah, their defense isn't good.
Their offense is great.
Their offense is great though. Yeah.
And the Panthers don't have Shaq Thompson anymore. So
The Panthers don't have either offense or defense. So
It's true.
yeah,
But-
so
they
I
have a
don't.
sneaky good defense whenever they're healthy, but they're never healthy, so it's never sneaky good.
But yeah, so yeah, for our audio listeners, yeah, so Tyler and Matthew went Panthers and everyone else went Vikings. So
I don't like
Shit, I
this
didn't
trend
realize
of
that we did.
Tyler picking the same things as me.
yeah, he's either gonna y'all are either gonna go up together or he's gonna just drag you down to the abyss.
I
So,
think it's the second one.
Vikings
It'd
by
be more
20.
amazing. It'd be more amazing for Tyler to go first 0-17, or for somebody else to go 17-0 in a week.
I don't
I
know, but I need somebody to remember that Jason just said Vikings by 20, because if they lose, that's the cold take of the week.
okay. I still think it's way easier to get. I feel like you're more likely to get 17-0 than you are to get 0-17. I don't know why.
Honestly, think both of them are impossible. I
Yeah.
don't think it will ever happen.
Yeah, it's just there's too many things that have to go right. But
There was a couple
gonna
of us
happen,
last
maybe.
year that got really close to getting all of them right, but nobody ever did it.
I think
Yeah.
the highest we ever got was like 85% or something like that, and Gavin almost got that week 1 this year. So
Getting smarter.
We're learning.
all right,
Just wait till season 5 of Always on a Market, when we're all getting 99% at the end of the season.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
It's coming down to the end of the season, and it's one game decides who wins.
all right. Let's move on to the next one. This was kind of surprising to me. Although I guess it's because the Bengals have looked pretty rough up to this point. So we got the Bengals at the Titans. Obviously, like I said, I was the biggest fucking loser of all time in week 2 because I didn't pick my own team and they actually won. So I'm going back to my normal pattern of just always picking my team. I don't want to fuck up again like that. So, of course, Tyler and I both went for the Titans, and so did Matthew here. And then
I'm gonna
everyone else
change my
Bengals.
pick because I don't want to pick with Tyler for like a fourth time in a row.
You know, I
you
was
stick with it. You stick with it.
no, you can change it, but I will say I will be a little heartbroken because this is the first time I think I've ever seen I'm surprised by this. I would have never thought you of all people would
Okay,
pick the
You just want to
Titans.
get your hopes up so he could tear your heart out of your chest. That's what he wanted to do.
For Steven, I'll do it. I'll keep my pick.
Ooh.
I am
I
so
flip-flopped on.
sorry.
I think there's no way the Bengals start out 0-4. I mean,
Well, we
But-
don't know if they're going to win this week or not.
they're gonna lose
either.
now that fucking Joe Burrow's out. They're gonna fucking lose.
Maybe that
Burrow's
maybe
out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
Joe
the
Burrow's
backup
out.
quarterback balls out. You don't know.
Nah, the
Who's
Bengals
their
are. Who are they playing this week?
The Rams.
Rams. Oh, fuck. I
Yeah,
didn't know that he was out. Oh,
Yeah, no.
Jesus.
I thought that
Well,
he
we
was.
found
just-
out right after the podcast was recorded, Gavin. So, and
We're all
I
locked
asked
in.
if I could switch my pick, and Jason and Steven brought out their whips and whipped me, being like,
Yeah.
"No, you little boy, don't you fucking
Beat
dare!"
you.
Yeah,
Beat you
second
with a
the
stick.
episode is recorded, it's locked in. You can't change it. That
old
point.
Jason and Steven dictatorship, you know.
All right.
Damn.
So you are gonna stay, Matthew?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Thanks, buddy. I'm sorry. Let's move
Better
on.
win.
Now let's move on to the next one. We got the Buccaneers at the Saints.
A lot of 3-3 splits this
Really?
week.
Yeah,
I think
this could be a very weird week as far as our stats go, because
Yeah.
like week 2, mostly everybody stuck together. There were a couple outliers, but then the whole group, yeah, Ryan of course, but and then I guess week 3 we kind of had a little bit of mix and match. So far we got big splits on this one. So
It is strictly a testament to how good the Saints defense is. This is not me going against Baker. Still want to say that I fully believe in Baker to lead the Bucs to have a very good season. I just think this is a tough divisional matchup for him. So that's the only reason I'm making this pick.
I think
Can you go back
the Bucks fizzle out by this point. I think I got 3 good games in them, and then they're gonna fizzle out.
Can you go back and see if me and Tyler have picked the same every single game? Because I'm pretty sure we have.
all right, so yes, no, you
There you go.
Okay, yeah, that was the one outlier.
God,
Yeah.
you're one outlier.
That's
But
it.
then-
Yeah, that's it. It's just that one.
What the fuck?
This could be really interesting. What they said for the Saints. That's why I picked them, and also, you know, I think I like the Saints this year, so I'm gonna pick them a lot probably.
But Jamal Williams is on IR now, so
Yeah, but Alvin Kamara will be back by then.
But
so.
you despise their aesthetic.
Oh, yeah, this is the Alvin Kamara comeback game.
Yep.
He's gonna be
That's why I made this
rusty.
pick. I forgot about that.
He's gonna be rusty, and that Buccaneers rushing defense is pretty good. So
Yeah, that
What's
first
the
hit though,
last
they're
time
gonna knock the
40?
rust off, and then he's gonna be back in it.
yeah, for the second game back.
We'll
He's got
see.
that WD-40. He's going to squeak them tires. He's going to grease those axles, baby. He's fine.
I need for your thumbnail that you do for this one, Matthew. I need Alvin Kamara with WD-40 in his hand. Okay.
I got you.
And also fire in his gut.
Oh
No.
yes, gotta have the fire in the gut
Do it.
too.
Look,
All
send
right.
the suggestions. I'll draw it up.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got the Dolphins at the Bills. Old Ryan, Bills lover over there. The outlier, just Ryan picked the Bills. Everyone else went Dolphins.
Don't think I've actually picked against
Hey,
the Bills
Ryan.
yet.
Ryan, hey, buddy.
What's up? Yeah, no, I mean it's the Bills. It's the Bills in Buffalo, Gavin. I mean, you saw how they were last week. I mean, yeah, first week they sucked ass. Last week they
I-
went off, and y'all
had to get that
fucking
right.
Miami to Buffalo. That's a long ass distance to go.
It's not cold.
Hey, yeah, no, I
though.
fully,
Do it
It's
all the
fucking
time.
colder than Miami.
Do it every single year.
I fully understand why you have that opinion. I just want to go ahead and tell you that last year the Dolphins did own the Bills.
Yeah.
Actually, were 3 points away, or I think 6 points away from beating them in the playoffs at their home field that you were hyping up just now. Third string quarterback named Skylar Thompson that doesn't even know how to throw a ball more than 20 yards downfield. This is going to be the Dolphins going for their 4-0 start after they beat the Broncos in week 3.
Well, that's not happening. So you gonna stop that?
I'm a Bills believer. Like I said, it's not the home team thing is not like the main reason. That's just a factor. I said the main reason is like the Bills. They fucking started off rough in the first game, but they balled out last game. That's going to be the regular Bills. I think is that second week Bills.
I'm not shitting on the pick at all. I wanted to get that soundbite in there.
Oh, I
just me
know.
saying that to you. I just needed to
fully
do
got
that because for the fact of my fandom, also because I am wearing the future MVP's jersey. I had to put that soundbite out there.
Tua can't is gonna never be. He can't survive a whole season to be an MVP.
Oh, they gave him a fresh new helmet that's supposed to protect him. He did all those ninja moves to prepare
The
himself.
judo classes.
Yeah,
Next week I'm going to buy next podcast that I'm a part of. I'm going to buy a full sleeve tribal thing to be able to pull up right here, just so I can get fully embraced into my Tua nature. Because what we're all forgetting is he has the full sleeve now.
Oh,
Tua, since finishing out the
I
full
haven't
tribal
forgot.
sleeve, is undefeated. He's undefeated.
With
2 games.
That sounds like a Tyler stat right there.
Yeah, it does.
At the point,
It does.
the point when this podcast goes out, it will be through 3 games. He will be undefeated.
No.
I am
great
setting
when the
up that
Broncos
cold
win.
takes. I'm setting up the cold takes highlight.
Can I say I would take the Bills in one situation if this game was played at Buffalo later on when they're having to deal with snow and stuff, because I could totally see the Bills fans throwing snowballs at Tua, throwing them off. But it's too early, so there's not going to be any of that. So I'm sticking with the Dolphins.
It'll be October, so it'll be chilly. It'll be fall.
Are you saying that
It
it'd
won't
be
snow
Tua?
yet.
Are you saying it'd be Tua early in the season, Steven?
Leave the podcast.
It won't snow, Steven.
No, don't leave. That'll mess us all up on the windows. Don't do it. Stay.
It won't be snowing, but it'll be like fucking 50 degrees something. And Miami Dolphins are used to like fucking 100-degree weather. So
I mean that is a
Once
factor.
again, they
actually.
play this every single year.
I know. I'm not saying that is the one reason. I'm just saying it's a factor.
All right, let's move on.
Saying there's an avenue.
Oh,
And it's the exact same when the fucking Bills travel to the Dolphins. They have it just like the opposite reason.
all right, we can say
I love
we've got the next slide. We got the wow, I almost said Dolphins. We got the Broncos and the Chicago Bears.
Broncos first win right here.
This is the first time.
That's
the
their
Broncos-
second win.
I think this is the only time the Broncos might ever sweep.
No, we play the
But I
Packers,
love
so
the
it'll be a sweep
Justin
besides you.
Fields.
Won't be a sweep. Nobody thinks the Broncos are going to win.
Obviously, y'all do.
No, not this game. Obviously, this game. It's the Bears.
Yeah, I don't think the Bears are a team that I don't think I'm picking for the rest of the season until they prove me something else otherwise to make me want to pick them. Because I mean, this was easy. This was one of the easiest ones on week 4, just to say, all right,
Look,
Broncos, move on.
The Broncos are going to beat the Dolphins by 12, and they're going to beat the Bears by 3.
All right.
Really want a soundbite right now. I get it.
Dude, there's so
I know
many.
what you want.
There's so many takes that could be incredibly cold that I'm going to need to hold on to for.
Write it down.
compilation.
Broncos by 12 against the Dolphins. We beat the Bears by 3.
I don't have a pen.
I like
but
how you're beating the Dolphins by more than the Bears.
That's the Broncos for you.
you never know what you're going to
The
get.
Dolphins
I don't even
cover
have
that
anything to say
6.5 point spread. I'm coming back to this point of the podcast. I'm clipping it and putting it in the Discord.
You act like I watch the stuff that y'all send in Discord.
You act like I'm not going to keep spamming it to you until you acknowledge it. I'm
He's
going to be
gonna-
Roman Reigns in this Discord.
At Jason every day until you look at it.
I'll mute it.
All right.
Not hard.
So
Being a sore loser.
now this one was also very interesting. This next one we got here. The Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles, and we have a 3-3 split again.
I saw the hand. I saw the hand.
And once again, Matthew and
Change
Tyler.
my pick. I don't want to. I'm done with that.
Okay, I'll move you.
I think the Commanders are going to win, and I'm tired of it.
Okay.
Watch
So-
that be the one. Tyler's doing 17-0 this week. That's the one game that, or no, he's not going. He's going 0-17 except for this one game.
All right. So initially it was Matthew and Tyler and me going for the Commanders, but now it's just me and Tyler. I'm going to stick with the Commanders. I don't know why. Washington was the ones who ended the streak for the Eagles last year. I know it's a completely different Washington team, but I don't know. I feel like in a weird way the Commanders are kind of like a trap game for them, and for some reason for the Eagles. So I feel like going with the Commanders because they are way better than I was expecting. I don't know Tyler's reason.
I would have taken the Commanders if they were in Washington, but they're in Philadelphia, so I had to go with the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean it's fair. I think this is actually a really good game. I would have never thought this would be a good game, but I think this has the potential to be a really good one. So. All right. Anybody got anything else to add? Move on.
I feel like the Eagles' offense is going to start picking itself up here soon, and I think Week 4 is going to be whenever they really start to let it leash. Just let it out. Let the dogs eat.
Oh. All right. Let's move on to the next one. Another sweep. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers at Houston Texans. And we all went with the Steelers.
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Sorry, CJ. You keep getting swept.
This game should not be televised in any market.
I fucking hate how the offense for the Steelers looks right now. It is so incredibly bad. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. The fact that they won against the Browns was ridiculous, but again, it wasn't their offense. It was all their defense, just taking advantage of every mistake the Browns made. So,
you know what? Give me the Texans.
Really?
Oh,
give me the Texans.
Okay. Put his head
next to CJ. Put his head on CJ. Put his head on CJ.
Hold on. Shit. I fucked up. Hold on.
Bring it to front. Bring Jason to front.
I'm working on it. Bring to front. There we go.
Let's go. Yeah, baby.
You gotta rotate
what I've been waiting for.
Rotate it a little bit. There we go.
All right.
This will be the Texans' first win of the year. The Steelers are not good. Like, in reality, I think the Texans might be a better team than the Steelers are right now.
I just think the Steelers' defense is going to be too good for the Texans to be able to take them down. Yes, the offense
that might be the case.
Yeah, the offense for the Steelers is really terrible, but their defense is still ran through T.J. Watt, so it's kind of hard to go against that. For at least for the Texans, at least. All right, let's move on to the next one.
We've got like four clean sweeps in a row. It looks like coming up.
Okay,
means that there's only still up until that point. Whenever we get to the last clean sweep, there's only been one game that Matthew hasn't picked with Tyler.
It's because he changed
switched.
it.
Yeah,
that's crazy. All right, so we got the Raiders at the Chargers. Everybody went with Chargers here. This one was pretty easy. Shout out to the handsome devil himself, Jimmy G, right there.
Chargers offense is just too good.
Yeah.
It's not even that. Chargers are going to Charger. They're going to do one divisional game where they just smoke some team at home. There's not even really a home field advantage there because there's not a true loud fan base for them. It's silent majority on Twitter that lets it ride. They're going to just start meat riding Jay Herbo, put him in the freaking top 5 MVP conversation. They're going to start talking about how great that Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa are whenever they both get one half sack in this game combined. And they're going to squeak out a win against the Raiders.
Hey, where did the Chargers hurt you?
Back whenever I was a kid, the first Dolphins game I ever watched after becoming a fan was against the San Diego Chargers, and they beat the Dolphins. So then from that point on, I've hated them.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is the actual story.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. We've got another sweep, it looks like.
We don't even need to talk about this game. You can just skip it.
At least mention it. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the 49ers. They are playing at San Francisco. I can't imagine how brutal of a game this will be for the Cardinals. I just can't. Once again, we got Kyler Murray. Instead of studying up on that film, he's playing too much Call of Duty. So, yeah.
When is Call of Duty?
XXV weekend. Is it that week?
See? Right. Every 4 to 6 weeks. I don't think they've had double XP yet. I think it might be this game.
Oh my god,
Oh, it's going to be a massacre.
it's gonna be
Kyler
bad.
Murray isn't even playing, but still, the essence is going to go throughout the team.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's still out anyway. So is it Colt McCoy? I guess no.
Josh Dobbs
Oh yeah, Josh Dobbs. Yeah, Josh Dobbs, and
just
then
celebrated alopecia awareness because of him.
and then they have that
No,
guy
I
that
didn't-
actually looked good in the preseason.
I did not know he had alopecia. Like, I just thought he was bald.
He doesn't have
just-
eyebrows, is the way that kind of.
I guess I never really paid attention to him not having eyebrows until I saw that National Alopecia Appreciation Day post.
All right, let's move on to
Trying his hardest.
Let's move on to the next game. We got another sweep, y'all. We got the Patriots at the Cowboys.
Cowboys defense too strong.
I feel like this is gonna be if the Cowboys can hold this incredible defensive play they've had so far, this is just gonna be a massacre. I don't see how the Patriots can hold up against the Cowboys.
Only big news that we got to talk about with this game is Trayvon Diggs being injured going to affect the Cowboys massively.
No.
I still think they've got too strong of a defensive line. I mean, their secondary is still good, but then the defensive line is insane. So, yeah, I think they'll still be great. I'm realizing though this game is. I mean, the only way this game could be more American football is if the fucking somehow we had a 3-team game with the Packers in there too, because it's just all the big fan bases in the U.S. for football. So
It's the Patriots versus America's team.
yeah, it's the Republicans versus the America's team. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Oh, I switched it back. My bad. All right, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the New York Jets. Yeah, we got another sweep. Obviously, the Chiefs are great, and we don't know exactly what to expect out of Zach Wilson, who of course is on the graphic there.
It's pretty crazy this week.
We know what to expect. Garbage.
Yeah. This fucking week is full on just like 50-50 games or just sweeps. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like the part of the reason too is everyone's going with kind of the safe picks here because we just don't know. So that's part of why it's like this week. All right.
I think it would take a lot for me in a week's time to not pick the Chiefs over the Jets. Like a lot would have to happen in this upcoming week.
And if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones were all out, I might think about picking the Jets.
All right. Well, this next one we got an outlier.
I'm Gavin.
Yeah, I know Ryan's probably upset. We've
About
got
you knew I picked the Bills, didn't you? And that's why you fucking picked the Giants.
All right, so we got the Seattle Seahawks at the New York or New Jersey Giants.
Gavin,
why did I make
this?
I'm about to say I don't know the reason. I mean, obviously we're not like fucking elite.
You had it on there. I had to check it a couple times because I was like, did he actually pick the Giants? But yeah,
this is your last chance.
I don't remember writing that down.
But yeah, so everybody went with Seahawks except for Gavin, who went with the Giants. But you can change it if you like.
Why did I choose that? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and change that. I don't know what made me smoke that pack. I guess I don't know. What I did at that moment in time that made me think about it. Yeah, turn my head upside down because I was just really being a goofy,
cover Jason.
goofy little goofy.
And just cover me completely. Okay.
Jason doesn't exist anymore.
I was just being a goofy guy, I guess. I was just in a goofy, silly mood whenever I made that pick. I just wanted to send a shocker pick, and then I didn't realize how badly that the New York Giants are going to play in Thursday night.
Well, now I
wish
wish I
made the pick because they had 11 days for this next game because this is on Monday Night Football.
Oh yeah,
that was why I made the pick. They have 11 days to be able to prepare. And
Oh,
the thing is, I still don't think.
But they
don't think that they're going to win.
I just realized I did forget again to put the primetime graphics on there. My bad. I totally forgot about it.
This
So
is
I guess
Monday night game.
So yeah, the Chiefs Jets was the Sunday night, and then of course, no, it would be Patriots Cowboys is Sunday night.
Okay.
Because we have 2 Monday night games.
Doubleheader Monday nights. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
No, not that week. It's only for 2 weeks that they're having doubleheaders.
Okay.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then never mind.
Strike.
So what I said first was correct.
All I know is that this game is Monday night for sure.
Yes. And let's
Yeah.
move on to the next one. We've got the Chicago Bears at the Washington Commanders. Once again, I'm not picking the Bears again after what I've seen so far.
This is
Back
also
to shitty Thursday night football.
I'm about to say this is so far. This is fucking week 5 at this point. We're currently in week 3, so it's so hard to fucking predict that far in the future.
Well, this
Yeah.
one's not that hard.
I mean, I don't know. Could be.
Back to just
Change your
garbage
pick.
Thursday night. I do it. Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
You want to
But-
change?
No, they want me to change. I didn't say I want to change.
Put him over
All right,
there,
I'm
Steven.
I'm just gonna go ahead and pick. Okay. All right.
You know, I am really shocked. Well, I say I'm shocked. I'm not too shocked that he picked the Bears against the Chiefs, but not against the Commanders.
It's so bizarre. I just
It's
don't
such a Tyler thing. It's such a
Cute.
Tyler thing to
just
do.
wacky wild card, Tyler. So.
I think it's crazy, literally, except for the fact that Jason switched to the Texans during the recording. The last 7 games were all clean sweeps. Now it's just the last 6 games of this fucking pick. But
Yeah, I noticed that when I was putting them all in there, and I had to go back through just to make sure. I was like, "Yep, they're all sweeps." So, like I said, I think
Matthew.
it's got to do a lot with us playing it safe because we don't know what our teams are going to look like next week with injuries and stuff. So,
Yeah, sorry in advance to everybody if our picks are just absolutely shit. Because we just don't
we
know.
just don't know. We're too busy all having a nice vacation. So, well, some of us anyway. But
Hey, if you guys see us while we're on vacation, come say hi. We'll sign some autographs.
yeah, we're gonna be in Antarctica.
Yep.
But say just don't fucking DDoS yourselves right now. And just don't
The
get out your exact
address that we're
location.
staying at is
I would be impressed if anyone decided to show up. It's like, I flew all the way from Seattle to come see you guys. It's like,
Imagine.
Hey, that's the guy. That's the guy.
I would
We will be
let
in
them-
we
I
will
would
be
let
in a
them stay at-
geographic mountain range. We will be in a mountain range. That's all we're gonna
Yeah.
tell you.
I would let them stay with us if they flew from Seattle to come see
I
us.
would, and that's creepy.
real talk, I think I might have actually said where we were going earlier, but I didn't say, of course, where exactly. So
I don't
That's
think
fine.
you did. I think you just
We
said
have-
we were going on
Our
vacation.
5 fans aren't gonna actually follow us
No,
down there.
no.
So.
Anyway, well, that's it, y'all. So that was the last slide. So that's all of the picks for week 4, and of course that was the week 5 Thursday night football game. So
Everybody give a round of applause.
I just did. Oh. Steven, do you have the soundboard muted?
no, I just
Oh, okay.
I heard Megan out there, and I better go check on her in a minute. So let's wrap up the podcast.
Oh.
I don't know what happened out there. Gavin, take us out, buddy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Always Out of Market podcast. Thank you so much for continuing to listen, those who have joined us along this ride. If you would, please be a friend, tell a friend, share us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you have social medias or wherever you see peoples. We're trying to build a better listening experience so we can build a better community so we can build a better listening experience for you. Thank you for letting us penetrate your ear holes today. Bye.
Podcast.
Hey!
That's it.